could not move forward, otherwise he would burn up. But the Prophet was allowed to move forward. I just feel that sort of implies something in physicality.
Well, because language is limited. I mean, when we speak in language, even language, most of language is metaphor, even though we don't think about it. Most of language. When we speak, we're using metaphors constantly, but we don't think about them as metaphors because language is symbolic. Language is expressing things that are not really language, right? I mean, when I talk to you about, I saw a beautiful tree today. All right, you know what a tree is, but you know, there's a whole branch of philosophy that argues there's no such thing as a tree. Because trees aren't, no tree is like any other tree. So is there a category of trees in reality? And we're just lumping them all together because they look alike. I mean, that's what we do with humans, right? But is there really something called humanity? There's a whole bunch of individuals out there, but can we lump us all together and call us humanity? Because that's a category, but it's language. It's limited. So all of language has its really gross limitations in expression of how we're going to talk about things. And that's why so much of this is metaphor. It's just the nature of language and reality. And when you talk about God, I mean, you know, Rumi says Rumi says theologians are like chaperones. They're just there to make sure nothing haram happens with the lover and the beloved, you know. But you know, in the end of the day, the Prophet ﷺ, you know, he was in a state of divine witnessing, mushahada. You know, I mean, Sayyidina Ali said, "I never saw anything except I saw Allah before it, in it, and after it." I mean, he didn't mean that physically that he saw God, but he saw whatever tajalli was there, he saw it. Because the tajalliyat are, you know, what they call theophanies in English. You know, a theophany is like in Arabic it's called a tajalli, which is how God expresses himself in the world. It's a manifestation of the divine in the world. The world is not the divine, but the world cannot exist without the divine. It's the mirror, yeah, and we're the pupil. We, you know, God is contemplating himself through us, but that, you know, there's no, we're not God. I mean, that's, alhamdulillah, we're not pantheists or panentheists or, you know, but we do believe that language is limited, you know, and that's why, you know, the Quran has so many meanings. It's just endless meanings because of the nature of language. And the Quran is the richest language. And anybody who really studies Arabic language will increasingly realize that about the Quran. You know, there's just endless possibilities. So, but the point is that that rejection of physicality, even though the language yuhim, وَكُلُّ نَصٍ أَوْهَمَ التَّشْبِيهَ أَوِّلْهُ وَنَزِّهْ وَرُمْ تَنزِيهَا أَوِّلْهُ فَوَّضْ وَرُمْ تَنزِيهَا. You know, every text that in any way indicates anthropomorphism, either interpret it metaphorically, which is the opinion of later mutakallimun. The earlier opinion, which I think is the soundest, and that's the one I prefer, is fawwid. You know, just leave it to God. Don't say you know what it means. Just, it doesn't mean what it appears to mean, which is called ta'wil ijmali as opposed to ta'wil tafsili. Alaykum as-salam.